Hi, my name's Vanessa, and I used to really not like myself, and now I do. Is that a good intro? My self-confidence and self-love has kind of ebbed and flowed throughout my life. It used to be very dependent on like external factors. Like if I felt cute, if I felt pretty, then I really loved myself, and if I didn't, then I didn't like myself as much. But I feel like the past year or so I've been really intentional about curating a self-love practice that feels good to me and that has really over time improved my self-concept, all of that good stuff. And now I'm at a place where even if I don't feel super cute like physically, I still have like a deep internal love for myself that is always gonna be there regardless of external circumstances. So today I just wanted to come on and share 5 really simple self-love practices that you could incorporate in your daily life. I'm gonna do my makeup while I give you the tips because I like having something to do while I talk sometimes, and I don't know, give you a little more something visual to look at too if you want to do your makeup with me. Maybe that could be cute. So the first self-love practice I want to talk to you about are self-love baths or showers. If you don't have a bath, you can definitely do this in a shower as well. I do want to encourage you, if you do have a bath though, because I know there's someone watching out there that has a bath and never utilizes it. I know you're out there, because I used to be like that. Like growing up, I always had a bath like in my house or whatever. And I definitely didn't take advantage of it enough, and then when I moved to like apartments later on that didn't have baths, I was like, fuck. I was totally taking for granted having a bath, and now that I don't have one, I would really like to take a bath. I have a bath again, so that's good. I've been really enjoying doing like ritual baths more frequently. I did one last night under the Gemini new moon. So for last night, I grabbed like some crystals that are associated with like Gemini. I definitely recommend doing it like with the moon cycle. I think that's a good way to keep yourself kind of in the habit. You could do it for like every new and full moon or something like that. And I just looked up like what crystals like represent Gemini, kind of those themes, and I went with that. I pulled some crystals, I lit some candles, made a cute setup around my tub, and yeah. For more of like a self-love bath, I would do like some self-love crystals, I would do some rose quartz, really any pink crystal. You could color coordinate your candles with that as well. I am almost out of like my colored candles, so I mostly just have like plain white tea lights right now, but whatever you have. But if you wanted to make it even extra, you could do some pink or some red candles and just really like set the intention as you step into the bath that when you leave the bath, like you are going to just be recharged, refreshed with love for yourself, and just feel invigorated in that. I set an intention pretty much every time I take a shower or bath. And most of the time it's just, you know, cleanse my energy from the day, release anything that does not serve me, any energy that I picked up throughout the day that doesn't serve my highest self, that doesn't belong to me. I picture that all like washing down the drain. You can do this with your self-love bath as well, you know, when you're sitting in the tub, just picture like your insecurities, anything that's been like you've been ruminating on about yourself that maybe you don't, you know, super enjoy about yourself, maybe some habits that you want to let go of. You can picture those, you know, flowing out of your body and down the drain with the water. I love to do meditations whenever I do my ritual baths. So last night I just looked up. Literally, this is what the beauty of the internet, you guys. We live in a time where we have access to so many amazing resources. Like you can Google a meditation for anything. You can Google what crystals should I use for this situation or for this new moon, this full moon, like whatever's going on astrologically. We have so much access to so much information. So it makes, I feel like, planning your little rituals that much easier. Like you don't need to be an expert on these things. You can look it up in the moment before you do it So for your self-love ritual bath, you could listen to a self-love meditation. You could listen to some high frequency hertz music, like 528 hertz is really good for self-love. It's really just about setting that intention, creating that space for yourself and allowing yourself to slow down. And you know, just the act of creating that bath and that little space for yourself, your little candles and your crystals and, you know, putting on the music, like that in itself, even if you aren't like, if you don't get super meditative about it, just that act alone is a great self-love practice. It just shows that you are prioritizing yourself, your peace. I forgot to do this last night with my ritual bath, so I'll probably have another one shortly where I do this, but I like to buy myself flowers around once a month. Sometimes I go a little longer without getting them, but maybe once a month I'll buy myself flowers and then I let them dry out as they do naturally. When they're dry, I like to sprinkle like the petals in my bath or just place the dried flowers kind of around the edge of my tub. Which is just another really good like self-love practice, is buying yourself flowers. That's kind of a bonus, and then to use them this way in your ritual bath is just really enforcing that. It's like you did this self-love act of buying yourself these beautiful flowers and now you're using them in your self-love bath. It's just very full circle. You really get use out of your flowers. And yeah, so that's something you can add to your baths as well. I'm about to do my eyebrows on camera, which is kind of intimidating for me, so. The next self-love practice I want to talk about is mirror work. And this is perfect to pair with the one I just talked about, with your self-love bath. When you step out of the bath, do some mirror work. Mirror work is essentially making eye contact with yourself in the mirror, gazing at yourself in the mirror. As you say, like, you could say affirmations, you could play, again, high vibrational music, you could listen to a meditation, you could look up like a specific mirror work meditation. I do that sometimes. I don't know all the science behind it, that's not my business, but I know that it's basically supposed to, like, when you look at yourself in the mirror like that, it's really like connecting with yourself and like in a different way than you would if you're just like journaling or, you know, reflecting in that way. It's literally reflection, you know? It can be kind of spooky at first if you're not used to looking at yourself like that, like in the eye. I'm like not an eye contact girl at all. Like it's hard for me to even look into the lens. I'm always looking at myself, but there's a mirror behind the camera, so that's what I'm doing right now, looking at myself. I've gotten into like some practice with it, so I don't feel as uncomfortable, and I definitely don't feel as uncomfortable looking at myself as I do like other people sometimes. I feel like that's really intimate to look into someone else's eyes, but with myself it's like, okay, I know her, like she is me. But yeah, just say your positive affirmations, your self-love affirmations as you look into your eyes, and it just helps your brain really connect it to yourself, you know? Again, you can really make a ritual out of it, light your candles, get some crystals, play 528 hertz or whatever. Really great self-love practice. Something I have been doing lately with mirror work is I kind of try to channel my like highest self, or myself, like future self who already has everything that I want. I let her kind of like possess my body. Like this might sound weird, I don't know, okay, but I let her like, I try to channel my highest self and like have her talk through me and like to my reflection. What advice would she give me? What words of encouragement would she have for me? This YouTuber I love, Alexi Gigi, got me kind of hooked on mirror work, so I'll link her video where she talks about it like in depth down below if you want to hear more about mirror work. But yeah, I really recommend. The next self-love practice is very apt for what I'm doing right now, and that is infusing your products with intention. You could do this with your makeup, you could do this with your skincare, you could do this with the water you drink. I do this all the time. Literally just speak these affirmations into these things. So let's take my water. I would say, I'm so grateful that this water is so hydrating for me. It gives me vibrant energy, clear skin, my dream body. It gives me positive energy, lucky energy throughout my day. and like kind of slow down when you use it. Like if you're drinking, like if you're doing it with water, really like take a gulp and feel it like go through your body and imagine those things, those affirmations becoming true. I could speak affirmations into my eyeshadow. I could say, I'm so grateful that this eyeshadow makes my eyes alluring, inviting. It gives me radiant, loving energy. People are so drawn to me whenever I wear this eyeshadow. It gives me lucky, amazing opportunities. People, strangers are just nice to me. I get free things when I wear this eyeshadow. It's that simple. You can charge your makeup with crystals. You could take your rose quartz, you could take your foundation, you could store it like that. Just have your rose quartz on top of your foundation or whatever makeup, your lotion. Infuse it with self-love. You know, you don't even have to think about it. You could have your self-love crystals, you know, on your vanity as you get ready, just as little reminders. Again, here's like my lotion. I could put this on there. Charge my lotion with positive intention. Again, all these things you can do like in tandem. Say you just finished your self-love bath, you just did your mirror work, and now it's time to moisturize. So you could speak, you know, your positive intentions into your lotion as you're, you know, doing the action of like moisturizing your body. Say those intentions to yourself and really like feel it. You could say like, I'm so grateful for my soft, smooth skin. I'm grateful that I have taken the time out of my day for this self-love practice. I'm grateful that I grow in self-love in every moment. Whatever you gotta do, whatever affirmations you're feeling called to. Another thing you could do with your beauty products or whatever is you could write sigils on them that are for specific intentions. I haven't done this yet, but maybe I will. I can put like on the screen like a little how-to. Basically you come up with your intention, write it out, and then you draw like a wheel with numbers and stuff. Like I said, I'll put a more detailed explanation on the screen, but you basically just create a symbol that connects to your affirmation. So you could write this sigil on your makeup products. You could write it on the mirror, maybe, you know, when you're doing your mirror work, it could be like a reminder for you. You could get real specific with it too. Like I could make a sigil to put on my mascara that's about like having long, thick, beautiful lashes. You could put one on like your face cleanser saying you have the clearest, most beautiful, radiant skin. I can say my affirmations, you know, into my mascara too, like, thank you, I'm so grateful for my long, beautiful eyelashes. They're so luscious and long and thick and beautiful and frame my eyes perfectly. Growing up, it's like I realized how often I was saying negative things about myself as I was doing makeup, like when I was more of like an insecure teenager. Like, I don't even want to say it right now because I don't want to put it out there, but it's like, don't like be doing your mascara and be like, oh, my eyelashes are so short and like stubby. Ugh, I don't like that. Or, you know, as you're doing your makeup, don't do that. Start saying the stuff that you want to see or the stuff you're grateful for that you already do see. The next self-love practice I want to recommend to you are writing love letters to yourself. From yourself to yourself. I haven't done one of these in a minute. I'm definitely gonna do one like for this video, for just for myself, you know. This is especially good if you are like single and you want to call in a romantic partner. Write that love letter to yourself, babe. Like, write it from the perspective of a lover, someone who's in love with you, because that's what we're trying to get with ourselves, right? Again, make a ritual out of it. That's kind of the theme with all of these things, is if you really slow down, make it intentional, make it more of a ritual, just really allow yourself to indulge in these moments. Light your candles, play your frequency, get your crystals, all of that, and then get some like beautiful, cute stationery and a fancy pen that writes really nice, and go to town. Write everything you love about yourself, even if you're like maybe in the earlier phases of your self-love journey and it feels kind of like fake and weird to you. Write it anyway, because eventually it'll feel a lot less fake and weird. If you struggle to kind of write it from your current perspective, if it feels too unnatural and fake, try writing it from the perspective of your future self who already, you know, has all her manifestations, you know, is really deep in her self-love journey and truly does love herself and has, you know, made it that progression. Write it from their point of view. Sorry, I keep saying her because that's me, but whatever pronoun, you know. Write it from the perspective of your future self who is super confident and genuinely does love themselves if you feel like you're not there yet. Because I feel like even if you are struggling with your self-image in the moment, I can like look back, like for example, I was a really insecure teenager, but I look back at those years and I look back at her, who I was back then, with so much love for her, and like she was doing her best at the time, and I love her for that. So you could, you know, write a letter to your past self if you feel that love for your past self. If you're like, aw, like they were doing their best, I feel for them. Like, write a love letter to your past self. Thank them for getting you to where you are. Thank them for going through all of the hardships they maybe had to go through. Again, channel like a lover. Channel someone who is totally in love, infatuated with you. You know, you can use your imagination if you have to. If you don't have a lover in your life, craft your ideal lover, and what would they love about you genuinely? Like, my lover would love that I have made, like, really progressed in my love for myself. They would love that I try new things and that I don't give up if I don't get the immediate result I want. They would love how persistent I am in my craft. They would love that I find magic and whimsy in ordinary things. You can talk about your physical traits as well, especially, you know, even if you don't feel that confident in your physical appearance where you're at right now. Even just writing those things out will help your subconscious become more familiar with that thought pattern. Okay, makeup is done. And for my last self-love practice that I want to share with you, this is very simple, but I feel like a lot of people don't do it or don't think to do it. And that is to give yourself some like more physical affirmation, like physical acts of self-love. And literally I just mean hugging yourself, okay? I started doing this when I get kind of anxious or overwhelmed. Just really like bring it in, really like feel yourself, feel your body, use your own touch to soothe yourself. I'm sure there's science behind hugs and like this physical pressure being good to like help soothe you and stuff. So if you can't get it from someone else, might as well give it to yourself. I like to combine this when I do mirror work too. I'll often get called to hug myself while I look at myself in the mirror and I'm doing my mirror work, just to, you know, feel even more connected with myself. Again, as with like maybe all of these practices, it might feel kind of weird or like fake at first, but now it's genuinely like at the end of like, if I had a hard day, if I had a long day, just taking that time to like like breathe and like really hug it out with myself. Yeah, I just have been really enjoying giving myself that kind of physical reassurance, like, hey girl, like I'm here, we got this. I'll like rub my thigh if I'm like driving and getting anxious. I've been holding my hand sometimes, just kind of like if I'm on a walk and want to feel more reassurance from myself, it's like, hey girl, like I'm here, I got you. I think it's really cool and powerful and gives you like a boost of confidence knowing that you're able to kind of soothe yourself in that way. So I recommend practicing that. And those are all the self-love practices that I have to share with you today. I hope you try one or all of them and let me know how it goes. Maybe pick one that you feel really drawn to, that you could fit into your routine and kind of stick with. And I promise you, if it feels weird at first, just keep pushing through the weirdness and eventually it'll feel really good and less weird. I'm really bad at goodbyes. Bye.